Well, if you watch our political affairs show Flashpoint on Sunday mornings, you're more than familiar with my buddy Mike Turpen. The former state Democratic Party chairman, former state attorney general, is known for his one-liners, some of which have resonated with our nation's most powerful leaders. Tonight, Ed Doney takes a closer look at the man who inspires many of us to remember and recite Turpenisms.
Every hour you spend in this park will add an hour to the end of your life.
You never know when Mike Turpen will offer, as he calls it, a golden nugget of wisdom. While in the park,
my favorite philosophy really is TGIM. Thank goodness it's Monday.
While talking to his pastor.
A few years ago, he goes, if you're in God's army, stand up. So I stood up. He said, Mike Turpen, you haven't been here in 6 months. I said, Pastor, I'm in the Secret Service.
And while on Flashpoint.
A baby is God's opinion that the world should go on.
He even creates them during interviews.
I believe that every saint has a past and every sinner has a future. Yakety yak, God's talking back. I just made that up.
This Tulsa native, former state attorney general, and current Flashpoint political analyst is known for his endless energy and humor. His sayings are affectionately known as Turpenisms.
We instead of me. Don't tell people your problems because half the people don't care, and the other half, they're kind of glad you're having them. He's so smart. That guy told us how the milk got in the coconut.
I'm broke as the 10 Commandments.
Happy wife, happy life.
Happy wife, happy life. If you're throwing mud, you're losing ground.
Mike's Flashpoint counterparts, Kevin Ogle and Kirk Humphreys, have heard them all.
We'll be talking about something. He'll go, you know, really, I'm like a hitchhiker in a bad town.
I can go either way.
This story is like a bad piece of steak.
The more you chew it, the bigger it gets.
One gear, all out, all the time.
I would describe him as larger than life.
Turpenisms have been forming over Mike's entire life. He called himself a Minuteman on his high school basketball team.
Coach, can I play? He goes, in a minute, man, sit down and be quiet.
But he learned the art of motivating people with short, memorable messages after getting into politics.
JFK, President Kennedy, once said about Churchill that he mobilized the English language and sent it into battle during World War II. Words matter. Reagan proved when he said, tear down this wall.
But it was one phrase in particular that helped him overcome what he calls a humiliating loss in the 1986 race for governor, the year it was supposed to be Turpen time.
A few good friends came walking in when everybody else went walking out. And that's when I learned, don't ever walk past an old friend to shake hands with a new friend.
Mike Turpen seems to know everybody. He has dozens of pictures with people like Billy Graham, Robert Duvall, Toby Keith, Adrian Peterson. People are drawn to his sky's the limit optimism, which came from his mother, Marge.
Mike, you got to do something to be something. I was going to run for treasurer in the 7th grade, and my mother said, no, you're not. You're going to run for president.
Speaking of presidents, he's met them as well, past and present, and knows the Clintons so well, Hillary stopped by his home in 2000 to thank him for fundraising efforts.
Mike and Susan have lifted my spirits time and time again over the last 8 years.
And Bill Clinton even taped a very, very personal note for Mike when he was inducted last year into the Oklahoma Hall of Fame.
When I was first getting to know him, man, he was always so up, I thought maybe he had swallowed a bottle of uppers or something.
That shows everybody he knows me pretty well.
Even Senator Joe Lieberman shared his favorite Turpenism.
Remember, Mike says, the time you enjoy wasting is not wasted time.
As did Chesapeake Energy CEO Aubrey McClendon.
If you're not giving, you're not living.
But Mike saved one of his favorites for his wife, Susan.
I like to say Susan and I have a perfect marriage. I don't try to run her life, and I don't try to run mine either.
Susan loves Mike's servant philosophy of putting others first and yourself second. But he was second to none after she heard him motivate high school students back in 1981.
And I came away and told my friends I met my dream man. And they said, what did he look like? I go, I don't know, but I just loved everything he said.
Their children, Patrick and Sarah, have their favorite Turpenisms as well.
Probably off the top of my head, it would be piggyback on a rainbow, just because I really have no idea what it means.
Like 5 years old, and all my friends would come over. My dad would always be like, now girls, what's ESEMED? And I'll be like, every second, every minute, every day, live life to the fullest.
But it is Mike's signature Turpenism that not only summarizes his outlook on life, but describes the effect he has on practically everyone he meets.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
Man loves life, and it's all good for Mike. Hard to believe, but Mike says not all of his Turpenisms are original. He quotes Mark Twain, who said, "Originality is the art of concealing your source." But Mike admits he doesn't always give Mark Twain credit for saying that.